Today, I want to share with you a new hack that I'm seeing people using to add value to their investment properties, to up their cash flow and combat the really hard cash flow scenario that we are seeing in the market right now. This may be something that you've never even considered, but I promise you it will add significant value to your properties and increase cash flow significantly. Let's check it out. Hey guys, I'm Andrew Lewis, real estate investor and entrepreneur with over 10 years experience building and growing a real estate team and investing in real estate. Before we get into today's video, make sure that you hit that like button, leave us a comment below about any questions you might have, and be sure to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on future videos. I am here to help you break out of your 9-to-5, gain financial freedom, and grow your wealth through real estate. Here is the secret to adding massive cash flow and at the same time adding value to your current properties that you already own. And this may even help you in the future as you are looking to identify future properties. Even if you don't put this into practice right now, it will help you identify some properties in the future that may work. The secret is adding an ADU, an additional dwelling unit to the property. You want to make sure you've got just enough land to drop another home right in the backyard, the side yard, whatever you have of your current existing rental properties. This is an incredibly affordable way to pick up additional rental income. Let's dive into the 4 advantages to using this method to add an additional dwelling unit to your property to increase cash flow and increase your value. So what are we really talking about here? It's simple. You basically take an additional dwelling unit. Some people are able to do manufactured homes that are put on a permanent foundation. Others are able to put an additional unit on their property, a stick-built unit, to add value. Again, this adds to the value of the property because you've just put another 1-bed, 1-bath, or 2-bed, 2-bath, whatever, on that property, so you're getting significant value there, and you now all of a sudden introduce some more affordable housing and you are now collecting more rent. Just a warning for you here, you're probably gonna need to check with your property management company or your state laws before you jump in and do something with this with an existing tenant in a property. So make sure that you clarify that first. You might have to wait until the end of that lease agreement before you tell them I'm going to add some construction. You may have to renegotiate some of the terms of the lease because you're physically altering the property and some of their usable space. So make sure you do that first, but this could also be something as you're hunting for a single family property or even multifamily, looking for additional space within that property that you might be able to drop one of these units into. They've become incredibly affordable, and there are cities all across the country that are making this easier than ever with pre-approved plans that allow you to just speed up the permit process and drop that unit in there very, very quickly. So let's discuss the advantages of adding these ADUs. Advantage number 1 here is, you guessed it, increased cash flow. You are going to increase your rents. If you're making $2,000 a month with your current property and you drop another 1-bedroom, 1-bath, 2-bed, 2-bath on that property, you could be doubling that amount of cash flow. And honestly, the size doesn't matter a ton. We all know that if you get to the 3,000, 4,000 square foot and beyond, the price per square foot drops significantly on rentals. So if you can bring in something that is smaller, you are going to get a huge price per square foot boost in your rental income. You can put a 1-bed, 1-bath in there, and you're just competing with the local apartment area as far as what those prices can be. And so you're going to significantly increase that cash flow. And honestly, the value that what you spend, if you spend $100,000 in there to get an additional $1,500 a month, that is money well spent and actually goes much further as far as price to rent ratios. If we're looking at those, it goes much further than your traditional purchase of a 3-bedroom, 2-bath home. So this is an incredibly easy way to add additional monthly income to your rental portfolio and increase those rents. Pro number 2, I already said it, I already gave it away, but this is going to increase your property value. You are adding a brand new structure to that property. You're adding more square footage. It's going to be permitted, right? right? You're adding permitted square footage that will add to the value of the property. So if you ever needed to pull money out of that property, guess what? You've got more equity instantly built in there the second you drop that in. If you ever need to sell that property, it just means more money in your pocket at the end of the day. There's estimates out there right now that this is a new trend that's out there, but it could be increasing your property value, depending on where you are, by up to 30%. Imagine that. You spend $100,000, $150,000, increase your property value 30%, and increase your rents. So this is a fairly quick and easy way to add additional equity to your portfolio, and it's not a ton of cash out of your pocket, actually much less than you would spend if you went out and bought another property. Pro number 3, this diversifies your portfolio, and you hear us say it all the time. You should not just have one rental property, because guess what? When that tenant moves out of that property, you are without income. You are 100% covering that mortgage payment on that property all by yourself. It's a dangerous place to be in, especially if it takes you a few months to put people in there. Now, as you add units to your portfolio, now you're diversified, and one vacancy doesn't hurt you as bad. So this is actually a hedge and a security for you that when you're renting that property out, if someone moves out of the primary house, that doesn't hurt as bad because you've already got some supporting income coming in from the additional unit, or vice versa. It doesn't really hurt you as much. So it's kind of an insurance policy. It diversifies that portfolio. It introduces you, if you're a first-time landlord, into dealing with multiple tenants, and kind of gets you the feel for stepping into potential apartment buildings, multifamily, all of those pieces. This is a great introduction into those things, but it's definitely gonna help you sleep a little bit better at night, not having to worry about those vacancies as much. Last but not least, these add increased flexibility for you. Some people talk about house hacking, where they're renting out rooms, or they're buying a duplex or multiplex and they're gonna live in one of those units. Well, guess what? You could actually take your primary residence today, put this additional dwelling unit on, and you could actually move into it right now. Or again, you could stay in your primary residence and start renting out a property on your current property right now. It also gives you the flexibility that maybe that payment on a monthly basis isn't as much, and now you're willing to step into the short-term rental game if your area allows it, and you've got an Airbnb sitting right there on your property. Someone can come in and quickly rent it out, short-term, mid-term, long-term. You've got much more flexibility because there's just not as much risk there, because the monthly payment for what you just added to that will be much, much less than picking up another single-family home. So this gives you tons of flexibility. It's going to allow you to play with different investment strategies. And hey, if you're thinking about getting into a short-term rental and you get into it and you realize how much work it is and you don't like taking those phone calls at midnight about the Wi-Fi not working, that little home is going to show you what that looks like before you dive into it and go buy multiple short-term rentals. Maybe you discover you love it, or maybe you're able to play with how the photography looks and the marketing and all of those pieces with something that's just lower risk for you overall. So the flexibility of adding an ADU to your property is a huge, huge advantage. I hope you can see I am super excited about this new opportunity. Again, there are cities and counties across the country that are making this much, much easier. Where we are locally, they just made rules that now they've decreased those setbacks. So you only need to be 5 feet from your property line on all sides and 5 feet away from other structures. So you can actually create these ADUs, these multiple units on your property to start generating income right now. There are plans out there for pre-made homes that will speed up the permitting process, so it's getting much and much faster to go through this entire construction process. So maybe you already own a property and you want to put that ADU on it right now. I say go for it. Start getting bids on that, run that price to rent ratio and see exactly what I'm talking about, how it is significantly better to add one of those units than to go buy a whole nother property right now. You're gonna get a ton more cash flow and some increased property value. If you don't already have units, then when you start looking for property, look for something that has enough land. You don't need acres and acres to do this. You can literally put this on a 10,000 square foot lot, again, according to your specific area and your laws, but you can put it on a 10,000 square foot lot. It doesn't have to be miles apart from the other structure. So obviously you have to deal with the tenants that you currently have if you've got a property, but if you're out there shopping for properties, then look for something that's got a big enough backyard and some rules and regulations that allow you to put these ADUs in place, and you will be pleasantly surprised with the increased value, the increased cash flow, the security, and the flexibility that you get from adding these ADUs. Thanks for watching today. I hope you enjoyed today's content. If you did, make sure that you hit that like button, leave us a comment below about any questions you might have, and as always, be sure to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on future videos. I am here to help you break out of your 9 to 5, gain financial freedom, and grow your wealth through real estate. We'll see you next time.